Okay, so this is kind of a colle little bowing exercise, but it's really more just to really get a nice soft rounded bow hand for primarily for brush strokes and off the string. You can't really play up the string very well if you're playing with this sort of tense pronated bow hand. So first of all, when you're doing this, I'd like you to, I kind of have right now, the way I'm videotaping this, I've got my phone on the music stand and it's below me, so I'm kind of looking down. That's why I've got this really good shot of my bow hand. I want you to have your either a mirror sitting on the stand right next to what you're playing this video on, or you could actually just sort of have the camera on, you know, so that basically I want you to be able to look at your bow hand right next to my bow hand on the music stand and sort of be able to compare them, because you're going to need to use some visuals to get, you know, you get your bow hand. I want you to be able to see like inside of your bow hand. So like I said, this music stand right now is kind of down and I'm looking down at it. I'm not slouching, but I'm looking down at it. So I want you to make sure you're set up that way. I happen to be on my viola right now. It doesn't really matter. We're going to just use first G and D string, and then we're going to do D and A, and you know, you can do it. I'm just doing adjacent strings right now. So I want you to be down at the frog. The first thing I want you to do is just be checking that your thumb is touching inside on its tip at the frog. You should, if you have a nice, balanced, really awesome bow hand, you should be able to very easily take your thumb in and out. Especially if you're sitting, see the bow's sitting on the string. You can't really do that in the air, but if it's sitting on the string and I'm sitting right on my G string, or violin it would be D string, you know, so it's just balanced there. I'm balancing right on my, you know, I'm balancing mostly on these fingers here, and these ones are just kind of curved around. If you've got it balanced there really nicely, like this, you should be able to easily take that thumb in and out and tap it like that. And there should be a nice little like sort of rounded area in here. If you see this, no. Anything that's like squeezed like that, you have to get like this. So this is really important. Second thing you're looking for is kind of this flat hand right here. If your hand is nice and flat here, you're going to have this curved pinky. And you're also going to, your wrist is going to be slightly bent. If your wrist is up here, way bent like this. See, now I don't have the flat hand. I have this kind of like pointed mountain thing. Should be sort of flat here. You're going to have this downward wrist. So you should be, like I said, you should have some other device sitting right next to whatever your iPad, iPhone, whatever your Android phone, whatever you're playing your thing on. They should be sitting right next to each other, and you should be able to have the same angle and see if your shape of your hand is exactly the same. So, you know, just getting the shape in a still position. You could do that right now while you're just standing here watching me. You could do it in the mirror even. Okay, so then I'm going to play, I want to do like G string. I want to play like 1 E and good. Now I'm going to roll to D. I want you to check that pinky and check that your hand's still flat. If you go like this and you roll this way, no good. So here's G. So you have to roll, and what's going to happen is your elbow's going to go down, and you're going to still have this flat, you're going to still have this curved. And so let's play 4D. And you should come back and you should have this. Now roll back to G. Tap your pinky a little bit, tap your thumb. Check that all out. You should not be looking like this. See how like at this angle, my hand is lower than my nose and my mouth, and this is like down. Let's do 4 on G again. Good, roll over. Check, tap that pinky, tap that first finger, check your thumb, go back to G. Let's tap. Now let's do 4 brushes. Set it back on the string. What you don't want to be doing is go like this for the brush. See that? I mean, I'm lifting the bow up a little bit. Sorry. Keep doing my D string. But you see that for the brush stroke and on the string, it's almost the exact same hand shape, just like, you know, like a millimeter higher. It's not, and then that's a way different hand shape. And I think sometimes that happens by accident. Okay, so now let's do D and A. And so check. And then if you're going on viola, you're way over here. So you definitely have to be way over here. You can't be here. Tap, go back to D. Tap, tap, nice rounded and flat. So you have to take your hand and go down this way. And not just go like this. Go back to D, tap, say. Now let's do it with the off the string, the brush. Roll over. Sorry, I didn't do brush. Roll it back over. Checking. Guys, this exercise is a how you do it, not a what you do it. The what is just, it's just open strings. Who cares? The open strings. It's how you're doing it with your bow hand. And this is going to make a difference when you're doing crazy brush stroke things, off the string things that have lots of string changes. If you play that kind of stuff and you feel that you're messy and fumbly, it's probably because of how your bow hand is. And probably it's because when you're changing strings, you're going from a nice bow hand and then kind of ending up in a bad bow hand and not rotating and moving the elbow and adjusting and keeping that good bow hand. What you could do then, what it would be a really good exercise is if you skipped over 3 strings and checked that your bow hand. Tapping is a great way to make sure you're not going like this. It's really hard to tap that way. I mean, I guess it's possible, but... And then off the string and roll and get that elbow lower. Elbow higher. Still curved pinky, elbow lower. Roll back. Roll back.